Uriah Faber's A-1 Combat is headed your way live this Friday night on UFC Fight Pass. In the main event, he's back, Hollywood Shane Collins, defending his featherweight championship for the very first time after a destruction of Cody Vogels. And that sounds harsh, but Cody Vogel's a tough guy, Shane. You got him out of there in like 82 seconds. Granted, you were probably confident coming into that fight, but 82 seconds is all it took. Were you surprised it went that easy?
Yeah, of course. Anytime you go into a fight, you want to be prepared for the worst. You want to be prepared to go all 15 minutes. However, I knew what I was supposed to do. I knew the type of like punches that I was looking to counter and the type of strategy that I was looking to implement there. Cody is a guy who kind of brings the fight. Like he doesn't really sit too passively. He comes and tries to get right into the action immediately, and that was what was going to get him in trouble. So I was planning to do what I did, but obviously didn't expect him to go down on the first body shot or anything like that. But it was a good performance nonetheless.
Did you see that path to victory? Did you see that body shot being an opening and a path to victory?
Yeah, that was actually my game plan. It was a weird, like I said in a previous interview for that fight, I did more like pad work and more implementation of my like very specific game plan on the pads, which was to counter his jab because he kind of uses his jab. So I was planning to come over the top and counter him kind of like on the side of the ear there, which I did a few times. But ultimately, I was looking to use my uppercut to lay into the body shot. I actually didn't even. He threw a jab and I countered with like 4 punches and a body shot. And I wasn't even like intending to do that, just kind of like muscle memory. It was a very, very surreal experience, kind of the first time I've ever had that in a fight where my training really just kind of like took place. And it was a very surreal moment. So I was very happy with that. And it gave me a lot of like knowledge and experience going into my future bouts.
It's interesting when you look at like traditional martial arts, they have like katas, and it's like, yeah, I don't think those necessarily work. But when you look at what mixed martial arts does with pad work, like you said, muscle memory, it's just you throw punches without even thinking, and more often than not, that guy's at the end of those punches.
Yeah, I mean, there's obviously overall things that you can strategize for, and you're gonna have to like kind of play by ear when the fight unfolds. But when you're in the pocket like that and you're in that like firing range with the hands, nonetheless, you have to kind of just be well schooled in that area. It's hard to have like strategy when you're in the pocket. You just have to have good reactions and you have to have like good taught fundamentals and you're going to have to work those things into the game plan. But in terms of like whether you want to strike from the outside or the inside or wrestle here and there, those things are kind of up to the brain. In the moment. Those are kind of decisions that you can like actively make in the moment. But when you're firing in the pocket there, it's all just reactions and you know how well you trained, you know.
Well, it worked out for you. You're now the A-1 Combat featherweight champion, defending Friday night in Long Beach here. What was it like to get that belt wrapped around your waist? We talked last time about your record. It's relatively, small on the pro side, but the amateur, it goes way back. You've got a lot of experience. You're not the typical 4-0 fighter on the come up. Did it? I mean, obviously you're not done, but did it feel like all of that hard work was now coming to fruition when you got that belt?
Absolutely. I think it's important to have these moments in your career that give you kind of a boost of confidence and like a sense of placement in the game because like of course I know my skill sets, I know the guys that I train with, I know the guys that I compete very well against in the gym, and they're obviously far beyond the regional scene level. These are amazing guys, so I know where I stack up skill set wise, but when you're 3-0 and you're fighting for a major promotion on UFC Fight Pass's title, there's definitely a little bit of like imposter syndrome, like, oh my god, like I'm talented, or I know I can beat this guy, but this is like a big step up in competition. This is like a big kind of bridge to gap. And sometimes you just have to take that leap of faith. And that's kind of what I did in that last fight, where I was a little bit just like, man, is this too much too soon? And obviously the result goes the way that it goes. And, you start to feel more at place with where you are. And I definitely feel that this time around. And I definitely don't feel like the challenger. I do feel like the champion. I do feel like I belong here at the top of this division and soon to be moving on to bigger and better things. And that's just a leap of faith that I'm going to have to take in the future. But right now, I feel that I'm pretty much exactly where I should be. And, I've had these moments in my amateur career, when you fight for amateur titles and you have the same thing where you're like, I don't know if I'm good enough for this. I don't know if I'm ready for this. And those are just the leaps of faith that you have to take in this game. And when they pay off, you really feel that sense of placement and that you're in the right spot. So that's definitely how I feel this time around.
I will tell you, when it comes to imposter syndrome, I think anybody that has any modicum of success throughout their life, they feel that. But you prove that wrong. And there are a lot of guys that can be kind of world beaters in the gym, and then for whatever reason, it doesn't turn out, the right way when the lights are on. But so far, so good for you. The light's going to be on this Friday night in Thunder Studios. It is all part of A-1 Combat. You can watch it live right here on UFC Fight Pass. I've got to admit, I felt a little bit dyslexic because I looked at your opponent, and at first glance, I thought you were fighting Billy Evangelista, who is a Strikeforce vet. He's retired. I was like, this is crazy. This is not even his weight class. Is it Elab Evangelista?
I don't know. I asked Bruno, and I kind of forgot because it's a Brazilian name.
Right.
Eliab is how I was saying it. I don't think that's how you say it, but Eliab Evangelista, that's what I'm going with.
I like your pronunciation better than mine. Were you able to look at tape on him?
Yeah, of course. Do a little bit. It's a weird position to study too much tape at this point in our careers. Mm-hmm. We're both only 4-0 in our career, and fighters change all the time. I think the last fight that I had against Cody was a completely different strategy than my fight against James Guidry. So if you overanalyze a little bit too much film, you might get caught off guard when the lights are on and people are developing so much in this game. But I absolutely took a look at mostly like the cadence that he likes to fight at. I like to take a look at those things in specific, not too much like what punches or kicks he's throwing or kind of his submissions or takedowns. I just kind of look at like the pace that he likes to keep, the stance obviously, and just some more basic attributes that he has.
Yeah, you are coming in as a champion, and I mean, it sounds silly to say this because when you're fighting, there's a guy that is wanting to fight you, standing in front of you. You're the hunted in every fight, but now as the champion, does that feel any pressure defending against another very tough up-and-comer who's got a good record?
Not at all. I mean, it's the same. We both have to go out there and fight for this belt. I might have it now, but as far as I'm concerned, it's vacant as soon as we walk into the cage and we both have to fight for it. I definitely do feel when it comes to the experience level, I don't really think that he has the type of experience that I do. I think he's fought some guys as a professional, but I feel like I've had a real tough go at it since the beginning of my professional career. My pro debut was against the 5'9" amateur champion. My second fight was against an undefeated 6'2" Dagestani guy. Like, you know what I mean? Like, it has not been easy goings for me. So I feel pretty comfortable with the level of competition that I've experienced as a professional as well as an amateur. But at the end of the day, a fight is a fight, and I have full respect for this guy, full admiration for his skill sets, his talents, and what he brings to the table. But I just kind of know where I'm at in this point in my career, and I'm going to do my thing.
Yeah, looking at his record, looking at yours, the amateur experience, and yours is very in-depth, but the pro for both of you guys is it's a small sample size. Both of you from that pro record, I can see clearly that you're both finishers. 50% finishing rate at this point in your career. I'm curious, what does this
75 for me?
Okay, sorry, 50% for him, 75 for you.
75.
Help me out here. I mean, is this a fight where it's going to be exciting from jump? Like, are you going to be on the hunt like you were against Cody Vogel's last time out?
Absolutely. I mean, this is the way that I intend to fight. I don't necessarily like being in there. I like finishing the fight. I want to get out of there as quickly as possible, and in order to do that, I have to be as lethal as I possibly can. I don't see it being as quick as the last fight, just given the the kind of the cadence that he fights. He fights primarily southpaw, even though I feel like he's kind of like a right-handed guy, but he kind of fights in that open stance to try to negate combat a little bit. It's easier to avoid. It's easier to be on the back foot when you're in the open stance. So I can see it taking a little bit more time for me to get to him, taking a little bit more time for the exchanges to kind of unfold. So I will go in there the way that I go in there, and I'll put the pressure on, and I will stay extremely posed, extremely patient, and wait for my time. I think 15 minutes is simply too long to be in there with me without having some sort of repercussions that take you out of the fight. So I'm not in a rush to get things started quickly or anything. I'm going to go in there, and whatever he brings, I will react to and plan accordingly.
I mean, I don't think anybody's going to be mad at you if the fight goes longer than your last one, because it was so quick, and you give them your money's worth. You want to watch the main event a little bit.
My dad always tells me that. He always asks me to extend the fight into the second round at least, because he's like, I bought all these tickets.
Right.
My friends are coming. I don't want to see a 90-second fight. I'm like, dude, you're gonna get me hurt in there.
Right. Well, let me talk about something I noticed in kind of looking at you and looking at the promotion that you're fighting for. Uriah Faber's name is on it. You're fighting in his old weight class at 145. Hollywood, the California kid. Do you see any similarities between you and Uriah on your come up here?
100%. I have nothing but respect for Uriah. He's been like amazing to me. This promotion has been absolutely amazing to me. Obviously, there's the California kid, kind of unassuming looking guy who's ferocious. But obviously, we have a different background. He was a wrestler. It's not necessarily the strategies that I implore all the time. But yeah, nothing but respect to Uriah and everyone at the A-1 combat team, because I feel extremely blessed to just be a part of this promotion and have these guys backing me.
Yeah, talk about that support for a little bit, because you're getting to fight here in Long Beach. How many people do you think are coming out?
It's always cool when I get to fight back home. Obviously, my dad and my uncle are kind of like diehard fans, and they take all their buddies. They rile up a whole group of people like on a party bus and come to the fight, and they've been doing it since I was an amateur. Obviously, more of my amateur fights were before I fought in like Serbia and out of the country and all those types of things. They were all mostly regional scenes, so I had a lot of people. But it's cool to see, people from like high school, people from the past who have been following the journey and are going to be able to make it out. I think that's super special. It's not, I kind of just hear the noise, and the noise kind of fires me up when I get into the cage, but none of those things I would say benefit me or don't benefit me. It's just like I go in and I'm focused on what I do, but it's definitely going to be an amazing time when I get my hand raised and I get to start the celebration process.
I mean, I talk to a lot of fighters that do get to fight at home, and some of them don't even really want it to be a home game, if you will, when it comes to sleeping in their own bed. They want a hotel. They want to get out of all of the mindset of like, I'm at home. It's like, no, I got to go to work.
Absolutely. I definitely feel that. I've had a change of environment. Obviously, I live out in Vegas most of the time. And then when I'm back here, I live with my girlfriend. So yeah, I'll be living with her for the entire fight week and the weight cut and the fight night and all of those things. So it'll be a unique experience that I haven't had before, but nonetheless, I'm excited. And at the end of the day, this is a beautiful thing. Yeah, I get to go out there and do my thing and go celebrate in my hometown or whatever it is. But I definitely used to feel more. I liked the away games because they felt like less pressure. It felt like less people are coming, and I'm like, but every time you win, every time things go the way that you intend, you always wish that everyone was there. And I remember my early fights, I almost didn't want my parents to come or any of those things because I just didn't want that external pressure. And then every time I won, I would be like, damn, where's everyone? I wish 1,000 people were here. So I think as you grow as a fighter, as you become more mature and you do this over and over and over again, you kind of understand that whether nobody's there or whether everybody's there, it's not going to affect the performance at all. but it's always a benefit when you have all those people there, and they get to watch the fruits of your labor. They get to see what all of this hard work has been for, because I've definitely sacrificed a lot of my, I would say, the last 10 years of my adult life have been pretty much dedicated to developing martial arts skills. And that has come with a lot of, lack of relationships and experiences. So it's cool that all the people that I didn't get a chance to spend much time with over the last 10 years get to come and see what all this has been for.
Oh, Shane, you're making the fighter life sound so glamorous. All these people I've ignored for the last 10 years.
Pretty much. I mean, I spend time with like my teammates, my girlfriend. That's pretty much it. Like, I'm trying to be better with that now as I get older, and kind of realizing that I don't need to be as like tunnel visioned and like in my own head all the time.
Mm-hmm.
But there's definitely, for the past 10 years of my life, I walk around thinking about myself, thinking about training, thinking about martial arts, and when you do that, you don't really notice that you didn't call your mom or your dad for 3 or 4 weeks.
I mean, it's the most selfish sport in the world, and it has to be. If you're not selfish, then you're not taking care of your business. You know what I mean? So I don't want to put the cart before the horse, but obviously you have a mindset that you're going to get your hand raised coming up on Friday night. This would push you to 5-0. You mentioned A-1 Combat. It's a major promotion, one of the pipelines here on the West Coast to the UFC's Octagon. I assume that's the goal. Where do you think you would stand with an undefeated record at 5-0, and where do you feel it would put you as far as your maturation process is concerned? You feel like maybe you'd be ready for a Contender Series shot or something like that?
I think I've been ready, and I think that being 5-0 is not a big deal to me. Obviously, I want to have more professional experience just as kind of a formality before I go to the UFC. I do think I have the experience level. I do think I have fought tough guys. But I really think it's the way that I'm going to win. I don't think it's like, hey, I finished this guy, he was 4-0, or this guy, he was 6-2, whatever. I think if I watch myself win these fights, I can look at myself and be like, that is a composed, intelligent, high fight IQ, highly skilled, vicious athlete. And that's what I'm looking to do. I don't want to have like gross performances. I want to go in there and show my level. Whether I'm fighting this guy, whether I'm fighting Cody Vogels, James Guidry, or whoever else, it doesn't really matter to me. I want to go out there and put on UFC top 10 championship level performances when it comes to the mental side of the game, when it comes to the composure and the IQ and all of those kind of X factors that genuinely would exclude someone from being 4-5-0 to be in the UFC. I want to show those maturity aspects when it comes to my performance, and that's kind of the main goal for me.
That's the right mindset to have. He is Hollywood Shane Collins. He defends his A-1 Combat featherweight title this Friday night live on UFC Fight Pass. Do not miss it. Shane, appreciate your time and best of luck.
TJ, thank you very much, man. Appreciate you as always.